Hello guys, good day. Welcome to the Chess Castle TV, and today we will study the game in the Syncopil Cup Round 9 between Grandmaster Wesley So against Grandmaster Noderbek Abdusattorov. Okay, so this is USA versus Uzbekistan. Okay, let's see what happened on the game and let's have fun. Okay, Wesley played as white. He played e4. Noderbek played e5. Knight f3 by Wesley. Knight c6. And then the Italian opening, no, by Wesley. And then after knight f6, okay, so d4. So Wesley saw need to win this game in order to join Pragnananda and Fabiano Caruana in the playoffs. Okay? So it's a must-win situation for Wesley So. That's why he played very aggressively, and let's see what happened. After e takes d4, Wesley played e5. Okay, so very sharp line, no? E5 attacking the knight on f6, and then counterplay by Noderbek. Okay, usually black played d5 to attack the bishop here. And instead of capturing the knight, it quite captured the knight on f6, and then Noderbek will gonna play d takes c4. Okay, that's why Wesley played bishop b5, pinning the knight, and still the knight on f6 is being attacked by pawn. So knight d7, and Wesley just castle. So important to remember, although there's two attackers here for the pawn on e5, but Noderbek cannot capture that pawn because of the pin, no? So the knight is under pin, no? If knight takes, and then he cannot capture the knight. Okay, Noderbek played the bishop to e7, and then Wesley decide to capture the knight on c6. Okay, so I like the idea of bishop takes c6 because of the uh, weak, no? Weak pawn structure by Noderbek, no? And then that is a permanent advantage that Wesley can attack in the future. Although that double pawn is on the center. Continue. Knight takes d4, and then knight to b8. Okay, so what is the idea behind this move? Maybe Noderbek wants to develop his bishop on the square e6. Okay, and then before bringing back the knight to d7. Let's see the continuation. Yeah, knight b8 is also protecting this pawn on c6. Okay, so knight c3 by Wesley, wasting time, continuing the development of his pieces. Queen f3, okay. After bishop e6, knight e2. Okay, so Wesley's plan is knight e2 to f4, okay, to attack the bishop on e6. Okay, so bishop d7. Here, Noderbek is planning to um, attack the queen with the tempo, maybe, or yeah, he wants to just connect his rook after he developed the knight. Okay, so queen g3 by Wesley. Queen g3 is good move because it's threatening to play bishop h6. Okay, attacking the pin pawn on uh, g7. Okay, so that's why Noderbek played king h8 to avoid the pin, knight f4, continuing the plan of attacking the bishop on e6, and after that c5. Great move by Noderbek. No? Look for counterplay. Looking for counterplay, attacking the knight on d4. So knight takes bishop, f takes knight, and then c4. So as you can see here, Wesley is trying to open up the position, no? He's trying to destroy this pawn in the center by Noderbek. If Noderbek plays capture, and there's a triple pawn, no? It's weaknesses. And thank you to this pawn on e5. It's so important. It's gaining space here on the king side. So instead of capturing the pawn, Noderbek plays D4. Okay, it's a inaccurate move. Maybe he needs to develop this knight very quickly to join the game. Instead, the pawn move D4, it's not a good. Okay, so for that reason, Wesley played Queen H3. The plan is to fork, no? Fork the king and rook. Since the queen is pinning the pawn on H7, there's an idea of knight to G6. Aside from that, the queen is helping the knight to attack the E6 pawn. Okay, so rook F5 to prevent the fork, and then G4 by West. Okay, so here Nederbeck don't want to capture the pawn and fall for this trap, no? Because same idea, it's a fork. Oops. And then knight D3. Okay, so it's a mistake, but um, I think Wesley is um, just want to block this protected pass pawn by Nederbeck. Okay, you don't want Nederbeck to push this pawn any further. Okay, so knight C6 and then bishop D2. So preventing the jump of knight, maybe knight, yeah, knight move to B4 and Wesley captured the knight on B4. And it's okay for Nederbeck to capture with the C pawn since it's a double pawn. Now the C7 pawn can um, move forward to C5 and protect the pawn. Okay, so F4 by Wesley, counter attack on the king side, and then Rook F2, planning Rook F1. Okay, and then okay, so this is what I like about this game because Wesley brings his queen on the king queen side, no, in this game. Okay, so this capture is one of the turning point in this position. After a4, Noderbeck planning to undermine this pawn chain, but the problem is after capture, uh, Wesley found a very important move, knight b2, protecting both pawns. So now Wesley also has a pass pawn. No? So let's continue. And in this position, Wesley now reroute his king on the queen side. Okay? I like what he did here. He reroute his king on the queen side and then ready to open up the king side to attack the king of Notre Dame to Saturov. Okay, so h5, trying to open up the h5, and then Wesley tried to bring his rook on the h5, and then he played h5. Okay, so as you can see, um, Wesley acquire a strong attack here on the king side. Okay, and this bishop by Noderbeck is in a bad position, no? As well as the rooks become passive. Okay, so after g5, Wesley played rook f1. Okay, very logical. Maybe Wesley wants to exchange the rook, no? Exchange the rook. Because if, imagine if rook exchange in this type of position, it's a winning endgame for Wesley. Because there's a pass pawn here. Aside from that, this pawn on c5 can be attacked by knight. The future rook takes. Okay, so this is favor. This exchanges is favor for Wesley because once the rook uh, as a trade-off, and I think yeah, Wesley is winning. And Wesley have the important move C6. Okay, so C6 is still protecting the F3 square, so there's no check here for Noderbeck. Aside from that, it's attacking the important C5 pawn, protecting B4 and D4. And there's an idea of fork too, no? If queen moves away. Let's continue. So king g7 and then knight d3, attacking the knight, attacking the pawn on c5. Okay, bishop to e7 and then queen g2. Okay, so good idea by Wesley not allowing the queen f1, no? Queen f1 is coming to attack the king. So this bishop is protecting the pawn. That's why knight takes c5 won't work. So queen to f1 is coming. Queen g2, important prophylactic move. And after queen f8, queen b7, pinning the bishop. Now, still queen cannot move to f1 because of the idea of queen takes bishop with a check. Okay, so king g8. Okay, queen c6 attacking the pawn on e6. Okay, so queen h6 to protect the pawn. Okay, but here Wesley found the important queen e8 check. After that, g5 and Noderbeck resigned in after that move. Okay, why Noderbeck resigned? Because the threat is queen takes g5, queen takes e6 with the check. Okay, and it's a losing endgame for black because after king h8 or king g7, Wesley gonna play queen f6 to trade the queen after and there's no way Noderbeck can stop this pass pawn. Also, the knight on d3 gonna capture the c5. So the pawn on c5. So this bishop is tied up, but protecting this pawn. So this is a winning position for Wesley. Okay, so congratulations to Grandmaster Wesley So for winning the round 9 of Cinco Cup and um, allowing him to join Fabiano Caruana and Pragnananda in the playoff. Okay, so good luck, Wesley, in the playoff. Okay, I hope you learn a lot in this game by Wesley and Noderbeck Abdusatorov. Okay, thank you so much. Don't forget to like and share this video. Thank you.